Hello and welcome to yet another lesson in maths. This one is going to help you in your real life. When you walk into a department store, you're usually overwhelmed by different offers that you can see around you, right? A lot of these tend to confuse you and you're not able to make the right decision. Which one is a better deal? This lesson is all about helping you to make the right decision and identify which one is a better deal. The three things that we are going to learn in this lesson is what are the situations on best buys? Okay, and how do you make decisions on which is the best deal for you? Then we'll understand the method of comparing different deals on the basis of unit price or unit quantity. And finally, we are also understanding the method to compare different deals based on some common price or common quantity, right? Let's get started then. As I said, there are four different methods of comparing deals. The first two methods are more quantity per unit price and less cost per unit quantity. Let's look at the first one, more quantity per unit price. Clearly, if I compare the unit price of two or more deals and the one which gives you more quantity for that unit price is clearly the better deal, right? Let's take an example. So we have two types of cornflakes. The first one, you pay £1.50 for 50 grams. And for the second one, you pay £2.88 for 720 grams. Which one is a better deal? Well, you can use your calculator for these calculations if you want. Let's see which of these cornflakes am I going to get more of for £1, right? For that, I need to do 450 divided by 150 in the first case. So there you go. I get 300 grams per pound. And for the second one, I'll have to do 720 divided by 2.88 and I get 250 grams per pound. So which one do you think is a better deal? Clearly, as you can see, in the first case, you're going to get 300 grams for every pound you spend. Whereas in the second case, you're only going to get 250 grams for every pound you spend, which means there's no brainer, right? It's the first deal which is a better deal in this case. So we found out the amount or the quantity that you get per unit price, per pound you spend, and the one which gave you more quantity was definitely a better deal, right? The second method is all about less cost per unit quantity, which means for the same amount of the item that you're buying, which one are you going to pay less for? Right? If you compare the quantity and for this unit quantity, which one is going to cost you less? That's clearly a better deal, right? That's the second method. Let's take an example. So here you have two types of chicken breast fillets. For the first one, you're paying £12.50 for 2.5 kgs. And for the second one, you're paying £6 for 1.5 kgs. Which one do you think is a better deal? Let's calculate how much will I end up paying for 1 kg of each, right? For that, I need to do £12.50 divided by 2.5 in the first case, which is £5 per kg. And for the second one, I'll have to do £6 divided by 1.5, which is £4 per kg. Now, which one do you think is a better deal? The first one, I'm paying £5 for every 1 kg of breast fillets. The second one, I'm paying £4 for every 1 kg of breast fillets. Clearly, it's the second one which is a better deal because I'm paying less for 1 kg, right? So the first two methods were more quantity per unit price and second one was less cost per unit quantity. Well, not in every situation will you have opportunity of finding unit price or unit quantity because in some cases this calculation requires calculator, correct? What if this question was to appear in a non-calculator part of your exam? Then you will have to do a lot of calculations mentally. This is where the third and the fourth methods will be useful. More quantity for same price and less cost for same quantity, which means even if it is not possible for you to convert the deals into per unit or per price or per unit price, okay, you can still compare on the basis of a common price or a common quantity. Let's take example. So we have two types of bananas. One where you get 187 grams for 24p. In the second one, you get 125 grams for 16p. Which one is a better deal? Now, in this case, if you were not given any calculator, this would be a tough calculation to do, correct? And this is where these two methods come handy. So it's not necessary that you always have to compare on the basis of 1 pound or 1p or 1 gram. You can take some common point, okay, common quantity or common price and still compare. For example, in this case, what's LCM of 24 and 16? You know that 24 and 16, the LCM is 48. So what if I would to compare it on the basis of 48p? Okay, how much of each one will I get for 48p? In the first case, as you know, I need to multiply by 2. 24p times 2 is 48. So I will end up getting 374 grams for 48p. Whereas in the second case, I need to multiply that by 3. So I'll end up getting 125 times 3, which is 375 grams for 48p. So as you can see, even though it's just by 1 gram, still the second category of bananas is a better deal because I'm getting 1 gram extra for the same value, 48p, right? So it's the second one which is a better deal. So we didn't compare it on the basis of 1p. We compared it on the basis of 48p. So you can have a common price point where you can compare. Likewise, you can have a common quantity, okay, on the basis of which you can compare and try to find out the better deal based on which one you'll end up paying less for. For example, out of the two breads that you have, which one is a better deal? 55p for 200 grams or 84p for 300 grams? Once again, the calculation will be sheer next to impossible if there was no calculator involved. So what we'll do is we'll have a common quantity for both. So as you can see, 200 grams and 300 grams, the LCM is 600 grams. So let's compare on the basis of 600 grams. What if I were to buy 600 grams of each bread? In the first case, I need to multiply it by 3 because 200 times 3 is 600. So I'll end up paying 1 pound 65. 55 times 3 is 1 pound 65 for 600 grams. In the second case, I need to multiply it by 2, right? 300 times 2 is 600. And 84 times 2 is 1 pound 68. So in the second case, I'll end up paying 1 pound 68 for 600 grams. Clearly, the first one I'm paying less for the same quantity, right? So that's your clearly the best deal. 1 pound 65 for 600 grams as against 1 pound 68 for 600 grams. So as you can see in these both cases, okay, we didn't compare on the basis of unit price or unit quantity, but we had a common quantity or a common price where we can compare on. So you can choose whichever method you can. I normally prefer these two methods for the non-calculator part of the question paper, whereas the previous two could be used for calculator because you have to just punch in some values and get the answer. Yeah, here are some USB drives, the 4 different USB drives. We have been given the data that each one of them can hold and the price. Okay. First one, 16 GB, you pay £9. Second can hold 64 GB, you pay £28. Third one, 32 GB, you pay £15. And the fourth one, 128 GB, and you pay £64. Which one do you think is a better deal? Well, let's calculate the data per unit price. Okay, GB per unit price. In the first case, I'll do 16 divided by 9, which is 1.78. Now, clearly, the calculator symbol on the left indicates that you can use a calculator in this case. Second case, 64 divided by 28, it is 2.28. 32 divided by 15, 2.13. And 128 divided by 64, 2. These are the values of the data that you're getting for every pound you spend. So clearly, the one which gives you maximum data is the best deal, right? In this case, the second USB drive, which is 2.28 GB for every pound you spend, is the best deal. Now you could have done the other way around. You could have calculated how much pound are you spending for 1 GB of the data, 1 unit of the data. For that, in the first case, I'll do 9 divided by 16, which is 0.56. In the second case, I'll do 28 divided by 64, which is 0.44. Third case, 15 divided by 32, which is 0.47. And in fourth case, I'll do 64 divided by 128, which is 0.5. Now, because we are comparing for 1 GB of data, the best deal would be the one where I'm ending up spending less, right? The least amount, which again is the second USB drive. Clearly, the decision has to be the same. Whichever way you do, the best deal has to be the same one, right? So we clearly got the second one as the answer. What about this appeared in a non-calculator paper, right? Well, now I cannot do 16 divided by 9 or 9 divided by 16. I have to do it in mentally, right? So I realized that the data that I get, 64 GB, I can convert each of the others also into 64 GB. So I can always compare it on the basis of the common quantity, right? So 16 times 4 is 64. So 9 times 4 is 36. So in the first case, for 64 GB of the data, I'll end up spending 36 pounds. What about the third one? It's 32 GB, so I need to buy two of them to make it 64 GB. But for that, I need to end up paying 15 into 2, which is 30 pounds. Likewise, in the fourth case, it's 128 GB of data. If I halve it or divide by 2, I'll get 64 GB, which means I'll have to pay 32 pounds for 64 GB. Now, these calculations were easy. Okay, you could have done it mentally. So now we have the amount that you'll end up paying for 64 GB in case of each of the 4 USB drives. Which one will you spend the least amount in? Once again, it's the second one, clearly. That's the best deal. So as we got, it's the same answer as the one which you got earlier. So the method doesn't matter as long as you show the correct comparison to the examiner, right? Okay, which one is a better deal for the yogurt? Okay, 5 for 3 pounds or 4 for 2 pounds? Okay, let's talk about more units you'll get in 1 pound, okay, per pound. So 5 units, 3 pounds. So 5 divided by 3 is 1.67 units for 1 pound in case of Food Mart. In Jim's store, it is 4 divided by 2, which is 2 units for 1 pound. So clearly, the second one, that is Jim's store, is going to give you more units for 1 pound, and hence that's a better deal. What if I had done it on the basis of less cost per unit, as in per, per unit of the quantity that I'm buying, right? For that, in case of Food Mart, I'll have to do 3 divided by 5, which is 0.6 pounds per unit of the yogurt that I'm buying in Food Mart. And in the second case, I'll have to do 2 divided by 4, which is 0.5 pounds per unit of the yogurt. So where will I spend less amount per unit? Clearly Jim's store, and hence that's a better deal, right? So once again, we got the same answer, even though we solved it using two different methods. Okay, now sometimes the data is not given in a straightforward manner. Okay, you will realize that in this case, okay, in Boots, you get 500 milliliter bottles at 3 for the price of 2. And in Superdrug, you get 300 milliliters of bottle at buy one, get one free. So now this one is not a very straightforward way of revealing the deal. Okay. And usually they give you in such a form so that you are confused and are not able to decide which one is a better deal. So here, this is how you will have to compare. Okay. So 500 milliliters bottles at 3 for the price of 2, which means you will get 3 bottles at the price of 2. That means in 3 bottles, you can hold 1500 milliliters. So you will get 1500 milliliters at the price of 1000 milliliters because 2 of them will hold 1000 milliliters. So 1500 milliliters at the price of 1000 milliliters. That's in Boots. What about Superdrug? In Superdrug, you get one free if you buy one, which means you get 2 of them for the price of 1. And these are 300 milliliter bottles, right? So if you get two of them, you will end up getting 600 milliliters at the price of 300 milliliters. At the price of one bottle, which is 300 milliliters, you will get two bottles, which is 600 milliliters. So we have put up in a form where we can easily calculate from here on. Still, okay, how do we go about calculating it? So per unit will be a little tedious. So what we'll do is try to find out for the price of 100 milliliters, how much are you going to get? Okay, 100 milliliters. So in the first case, you'll have to divide by 10. So you'll get 150 milliliters for the price of 100 milliliters. In the second case, you have to divide by 3. Correct? 300 divided by 3 is 100. So you'll get 200 milliliters for the price of 100 milliliters. So clearly, for the same price of 100 milliliters, it's a super drug which is going to give you more amount, 200 milliliters as against 150 milliliters in Boots. So that's why the second one is a better deal. Okay, what about this? So we have T-shirts are US, which says pay for 5 and get 3 free, and budget shirts which say pay for 2 and get 1 free. So let's put the deal in a palatable form, okay, in something which we can easily digest. So you pay for 5 and get 3 free, which means you're going to get 8 T-shirts for the price of 5, right? Likewise, in the second case, you're paying for 2 and you get 1 free. So you're getting 3 T-shirts for the price of 2. Now, let's compare in two different ways. First, in terms of the same number of T-shirts, which one are you going to pay less? And in the second case, for the same price, where you're going to get more T-shirts. Okay, so let's find LCM for the T-shirts and the price. In case of T-shirts, the LCM is 8 and 3, so 24. And in case of price, the LCM of 5 and 2 is 10. So let's try to find out where you'll get more units for the same price. Okay, so let's make the price 10, right? Because LCM of 5 and 2 is 10. In the first case, you're getting 8 T-shirt for the price of 5. So if I double it for the price of 10, I'll get 16 T-shirt. In the second case, budget shirts, okay, you're getting 3 T-shirts for the price of 2. If I make it 5 times, I'll get 15 T-shirts for the price of 10. Which one are you going to get a better deal at? Okay, for the same price, in the first case, you're getting 16 T-shirts as against the second one where you're getting only 15. Clearly, the first one is a better deal. Okay, let's try and find out the other method. Less cost for the same units. Okay, so let's make the units fixed now, which is 24 T-shirts because LCM of 8 and 3 is 24. Now, how much are you going to pay for 24 T-shirts in each case? For the first one, I'll have to multiply by 3 to make it 24, right? 8 times 3 is 24. So 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to get 24 T-shirts at the price of 15 T-shirts in the first case. For the second case, I need to multiply by 8 because 3 times 8 is 24. So 2 times 8 is 16. What that means is for the same quantity, which is 24 T-shirts, I'm going to pay for 16 T-shirts in the second case and only 15 T-shirts in the case of first case. Clearly, the first one is cheaper, right? Because the 24 T-shirts are going to be costing me at the cost of 15 T-shirts as against 16 in the second case. So once again, you got the same answer, okay, when we did with a different method. Well, that's how it is then. I hope you will be able to now decide which one is a better deal when you walk into a department store next time, right? So we did 3 things. We first understood, okay, what are the different situations of best buys? Okay, and how do we make the best decision on what is the better deal for you? Then we understood the method where we compare different deals on the basis of unit price or unit quantity. And finally, we took a method where we said, okay, what if this was in a non-calculator paper? So finding unit price or unit quantity is not always feasible. So we decided, okay, how do we compare deals on the basis of a common price or a common quantity, right? I hope you understood all the methods and the concepts that were taught in this lesson. Thanks a lot.